As our guest, we have our three themes. We have combat discussion theme, we have the quality of life discussion theme, we have the random topics. Which one would you like to start with first?
I mean, let's go with combat. That's why we're all here, right?
Fair.
Fair enough.
Fair. So I'm going to just jump right in with that first one. This is from Mr. Cryptic. And I don't care what anybody says. No, I was not influenced. It was actually a decent question, and I decided to include it. And the question is, where is the action combat? As an avid follower of the development progress, Ashes for Ashes Accretion, Mr. Cryptic cannot help but express his concerns regarding the direction of its combat system. While the game showcases remarkable progress in various aspects, particularly its stunning visuals and immersive world building, the emphasis on tab target combat in recent updates, notably the Node Wars update, raises question about the game's combat experience. And I just want to take a pause real quick and say there was hybrid combat. Virtek actually did hybrid combat during that test. I stuck with tab targeting because that's what I preferred. But I think the people that are recording do not use hybrid as much, so you don't see it as much during these streams. But Cryptic goes on to say, while I remain optimistic about the game's future, I believe it's essential to voice our concerns and aspirations as a community. Let's engage in constructive dialogue and collectively strive for a gaming experience that truly resonates. He was wondering if combat mechanics will shine as brightly as the rest of the game. And if the development team is fully aware of the community's expectation regarding combat, and if they've considered implementing true hybrid combat system that seamlessly integrates both tab and action elements. So, first off, what are your thoughts on hybrid versus tab versus seamless back and forth of the two?
I am all for it. I think it caters to a lot larger from a player base perspective. Now I'm a MMO tab combatter. I prefer it, especially because, like I said, I'm usually a healer or a tank. So for me, it's a lot easier. But I can see why a lot of people, from a DPS point of view, want action combat because it is more engaging, right? From that perspective, and the fact that the team have decided to go for a hybrid approach or an optioned approach is the right approach to take, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, I am much preferred to action combat. I mean, that's basically all I used in the Node Wars testing was the action cam. It felt better to me for everything, but that's also from a melee point of view. I could see from a ranged point of view that might be a little bit difficult. Especially if arrows have flight time and whatnot. And I'm gonna say a lot of ifs because I'm tank, so I didn't really play any of the other archetypes at all, and I have purely to go on what they're saying about everything. So anything I say about the other archetypes is going to be purely based on what I heard, and I didn't necessarily hear if there was flight time to arrows because I didn't know of any rangers that were using anything besides tab. It felt really good to me, and I'm all about the action combat. Just like Mr. Cryptic here says, it feels like it elevates the combat experience in an MMO to have to actually move your camera to aim stuff and have good environmental awareness on what's going on around you instead of just kind of like turning your cam, hit tab, click on the person, and then you just kind of forget to follow them at all. You just kind of keep clicking your skills. And it feels so much better for me. And so I liked how they did it so far. Could there be improvements? I'm sure there could. But for what they're trying to aim for, it feels good.
Yeah, for me, I did not really test too much into the tab, or not tab, but the action hybrid combat system. I kind of look forward to that when we get into Alpha 2, testing that a bit more, maybe in a space that's not quite so highly directed, such as the node test where, but then I can play around with it a little bit and see how I feel and truly feel it out. As a healer, I know it's viable. We had Brigand on last week who talked about using primarily hybrid as a cleric, whereas as a cleric, I was using tab and I kind of stuck towards the back because I had a wider range of view of what's going on. So it's one of those like there's pros and cons to everything kind of things. And I'm very interested in seeing everything. That being said, thank you, Pocket. Right on cue. Pockets Art had mentioned for anybody interested, there's the link, and had said that Ash's YouTube put out a video of Plan Endorse today and saw more of the action cleric abilities watching that, and there is the link there. And I'm going to actually grab that so that I can put that in the description later for those of you watching on YouTube. But I think that he seemed like he was able to go back and forth pretty well. I know that there's some conversation from the community on whether or not some skills should be tab only and some of the skills should be hybrid only or action only to kind of incentivize using those things.